Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Mike with Ground Zero, and I'm super excited to have you here today. We're going to cover some great topics on online content creation. You gotta love the little Halloween backdrop we got going on over here. The proximity is everything logo. But again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to be here. I'm going to deliver a lot of value to you to the best of my ability. What I want to talk to you about today, well, before we get into that, who we are at Ground Zero is we are a video marketing branding agency working with real estate agents, and the whole reason for this channel is to deliver free, valuable content to real estate agents on a weekly basis that's going to help them make everything super simple and clear, where they can take massive action and get great results from everything that they consume from us. So, if you love to, I'd love if you hit the subscribe button that's somewhere below here. It's that red button. If you can go ahead and click that and subscribe, and then if you want to hit that little bell as well, so every single time we post something, you get a little notification that's going to let you know when we post. You can be the first one to see our videos, and that's so that you can be the first one to see that information, implement it, and get the results quicker than anyone as well too. So I was really fortunate this past week. Last week I went to the CAR event that they had over in Long Beach, and it stands for the California Association of Realtors event that they put on. And on Tuesday they had a little pre-event day where they had little very tight-knit classes going on, and I got to go to one of the classes on social media, kind of branding and all that stuff. And I heard this quote from this girl named Chelsea that really I think it's just good for everyone to hear about, in terms of social, and especially the way that she put it for real estate agents. She said, "You are a human being who happens to be a realtor, not a realtor who happens to be a human being." So I think the important note about this is that when we think about social, we have to share the human sides of who we are. I think a lot of times as realtors, we get so caught up in just always needing to post real estate tips and value and stuff, and I think that is great. Like, I'm not deeming that in a bad way at all. You want to be able to show people your knowledge, that you're a knowledge broker, you know what you're talking about. But I think where true connection is built, and where true community and where true people, really start to say, that's my type of person, is by showing the human being side of who you really are. I just believe at my heart that's how people are going to connect with you. And we always talk about, whenever I sit down and have a consultation with an agent, when I say, okay, well, what kind of content game plan are, like, how do you want your content to be? Or what do you want your brand to feel like? I just want to be different. I want people to come across us and feel different about what we do. A lot of times, realtors, you are the brand. You're living it, you're breathing it, you're doing these things every single day. Well, what makes your brand different is you. So by being a human and sharing your human sides, of who you are as a person, that's what's going to make your brand different as a realtor. So I really like that quote. You are a human being who happens to be a realtor, not a realtor who happens to be a human being. And I think this all kind of brings us to what really social media is about. Social media isn't about sharing the highlights of your life and only the good, the glamorous things. It's not about views, and it's not about likes. What social media is truly about, at the forefront of everything, was community. It was about bringing people together. It's helping users build and connect with the community of people who have a same set of shared values and interests and things like that. That's what Facebook originally, and still they say to this day, is about. It's about connecting people with the same values and interests. So success is not always just about creating a bunch of content and pumping out 7 to-do videos or this amount of videos. I think that we need to get back to the intentionally trying to create content that is meant for a type of community, that's going to be intentionally created for a community of people, having that intention behind it. It's not so much on, although I know you hear people like Gary and Grant always say volume, volume, volume. I think, yes, volume is important, but I think you have to know a little bit about, who your user is. There's got to be intentionality behind it. It's what more so is what I'm trying to say. So typically our communities are tribes of people our communities are people who share the same values and interests as we do. Sorry, I'm, got a little off track right there. So knowing that, like, I believe that your favorite customers and your favorite clients that you've ever done work with are pretty similar to, who you are. You guys share the same interests. You guys value the same things in life. You maybe have the same missions of things like this. There's always those similar interests. Like your closest friends, they probably have more and more in common than your least closest friends, are your best clients versus your worst clients than with what you do. So what I think is our communities, our tribes, are obviously made up, like I just said, of people who share the same values, interests, outlooks on life. So this is why I believe it's so important as a brand to know these things, so that we can intentionally have a message that when we go on social media is being used in the right way to build meaningful connections with the people that we want to do business with, that are like us, that share the same values and missions and interests and outlooks on life just as we do. So, when I say the word brand, a lot of people like, oh, you got to know, what is your brand? Oh, I got a logo, I got some colored things made, and people just kind of, I don't think it's like that people are stupid. You don't know what you don't know sometimes. But people really are starting to figure out that like a brand and a message is very, very important in today's culture. Like especially the cancel culture that we live in, where people, want to support brands with their mission and what they're working towards, and they connect on that value base. I think it's so important for you, even though you're a real estate agent, you might not think it's important. I think it's extremely important that people want to work with brands that they feel a similar interest and commonality with. So a brand is not the way your logo looks. It is a part of your brand, but your brand is not your logo, it's not your colors, it's not those things. A brand is the way that people feel when they come into contact with your brand anywhere. When they see a video of you online, what are people thinking of your brand? When they see a video or a logo design, what's the first thing that comes to people's mind? It's the way that people feel when they come into contact with your brand. I noticed a lot, we're not a huge company by any means. We're still working really hard, but we try to be practitioners of the things that we preach. And when I started, getting into more of like the ideology of that brand is really important, that, we took the time to figure out and ask ourselves the questions about our brand, and we started to implement those, is where we saw like uplift in our amount of like watch time, engagement, and things like that within social. We started getting more direct requests of people wanting to work with us and things like that. So I just want to give you, these are 3 questions that you can ask yourself about your brand that will help you and just give you a little bit more clarity on those things as well. And I think this is important because one of the biggest issues that people have with creating content online is they don't know what to say. And I think that they don't know what to say is because they don't know who they are and they don't know who they're talking to. So if you know who you are and what you stand for, and you know who you're talking to and what their problems and what they're looking to work towards, you kind of know what to say, because it just makes it a lot more simple. You have that clarity, and I hope that makes sense. But here's 3 questions that you can ask yourself that are going to help you out. The first one is going to be, what are the values and beliefs that we stand for as a brand? What are the values and beliefs that we stand for as a brand? One of the things real quickly here at Ground Zero is we believe that we always do the right thing for people, that we want to give more value in exchange, the money that we receive. We want people to feel like, wow, this is a great, trade-off of what I'm getting. Why? So that's the first one. What are the values and beliefs that we stand for as a brand? Number 2, why does your brand exist and why should people care? For us, it's why do we exist? It's because we want to empower people. Yes, we work with just agents, but from more as a human standpoint, is when people come to work with us, is we want to empower them to become leaders and of their communities, and better in just a way of not just a better realtor, but they're a better person. They're a more empowered person who's going to go out and make a positive impact on the world because they've come into contact with our brand and chose to work with us. Why should people care? Because it's important. We're going to die, and it's important to leave a lasting impact and be a leader for your family, for your communities, and things like that. So that's number 2. Why does your brand exist, and why should people care? Number 3 is, who is your ideal client? How do you help them? And who do you really who do you really like to work with? Who is your ideal client? How do you help them? Who do you really like to work with? So who is your ideal type of client? And don't think so much in terms of demographics. Start to think in terms of psychographic. And what I mean by that, and I won't get too off on it like a tangent about this, is demographic is more like, oh, this person lives in, we're here in Orange County, they live in Yorba Linda, they're between the ages of 35 and 45, they make this amount of money. Like, that's a demographic. I think what we try to focus more on is a psychographic of person, is that how do the people that we want to work with, how do they think? Like, what are their behaviors? What are their characteristics about them? So start to describe, like, who's your ideal client? Where do they go on Fridays and Saturday nights? What are the things that they value in life? Like, you can start to go off, but yeah, I think it's very important. How do you help them? So first, what are the problems that they're dealing with, before getting to meet you? And then what are the solutions that you provide to them? And then 3 is kind of the first one. Is like, who do you really like to work with? I don't know why I put both those in there. So those are the first. Who is your ideal client? Who do you really like to work with? They're both the same. And then how do you help them? So those are the 3 questions. Knowing this will give you a ton of clarity when creating your content. I 100% believe that. So hopefully that you answer those 3 questions for yourself, and then you're gonna have some clarity when you're going to create your videos, because you're gonna know who you're talking to, and you're gonna know exactly how to talk to them, because they're the same as you. I just want to end today by just sharing a cool quote that I heard from someone named Alex Hormozy. Hopefully you guys get some value. I'm so sorry I'm saying like 100 times, get a little nervous sometimes. No, I'm not editing this video or anything like that. If you're here, I appreciate you. You get to see the growth of everything and how these videos will, proceedingly get better, and I'll get more comfortable. But what he said is, winners and losers have the same goals. Winners and losers have the same goals. Goals do not make you unique. It is the willingness to pay the price to achieve them that makes you unique. Because winners and losers have the same goals. Goals do not make you unique. It's the willingness to pay the price to achieve them that makes you unique. And it's because everyone's a dreamer. When you ask anyone, what are your goals and dreams in life? Everyone's going to tell you something like along the same lines. I want to be a movie star. I want to be a business owner. I want to do this thing. That doesn't make you unique. Like, everyone has these dreams and goals. What makes you unique is that you want to put in the work to actually make those dreams become a fucking reality. So, watching this video, I hope that little end clip kind of fires you up a little bit. Are you going to be someone that's willing to put in the work to get to where you want to go? So, if you said yes, start answering with those 3 questions and start creating content and connecting deeper with your audience, because you have a message that means something to them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Mike with Ground Zero. If there's any way that if we can be of service to you, you can email us. I got our email below. You can check out our website at groundzeroagency.com. Fill out an email there. Get in contact with us. We're here as a resource for you guys at this whole online, what we're taking is to try to do our part to make everyone a more empowered leader. So thank you guys so much for watching.